Hey, Planeswalkers, hope you're doing well and staying safe. Welcome, my friends, to today's episode of Top Deck, where we are covering a historic Azorius Auras deck. This one was a historic challenge winner, going 7-1 by Nico VCT. So congratulations, my friend Nico, on hitting the lovely historic challenge payout. So very excited to be back and looking at this one. I know many of you commented on this in the last tier list. Certainly things have changed, the meta's changed around, and really excited about digging in with Azorius Auras again. Was one of my favorite archetypes in the past. Glad to see it coming back and doing well as well. So really looking forward to today's lineup and seeing where we go from here. So with that, flip me a like if you enjoyed today's video. Appreciate you tuning in. If you have questions, if you have comments, let me know down below. On top of that, the information for the Discord server is there. We got 200 plus folks, lots of things happening and question answers and all that stuff. And the deck list is there for you in the description. But you will also find the timestamps for the strategy objective of this list. We'll cover your boarding for best of 3. We'll go play that competitive Magic here today in both best of 1 and best of 3 for you today. And then we'll close out with a little bit of a retrospective on where this deck sits in the meta today. So post-ban. So let's go ahead and talk about this here. Again, great way to support the channel down below, so thank you. But you're here for this deck. So Azorius Auras, what is this all about? So the big pieces here are exactly what it is. It's white and blue. Aura payouts in terms of going over the top, getting our creatures bigger, draw lots of cards, getting life gain. Now, the biggest piece and difference here with this version is that we do have counter spells. Now, given the prevalence of what's going on in the control world of Magic in Historic right now makes a lot of sense. Additionally, the board wipers, Adanto Vanguard is a huge piece for us where we can pay that for life. This guy's going to gain indestructible until end of turn. So anything that's going to be board wipers minus exile, this guy's going to give us a fighting chance. So that's what that's all about. We also got Rune of Sustenance here, which is a newcomer, and that is what we have in terms of playables. Running 21 lands, 14 creatures, so a little bit lighter. 16 is always pretty common here, but certainly makes a lot of sense in terms of what's going on, why it's going on, kind of a thing. Again, you can aggressively mulligan too, so that's always a big piece with this deck. Very low curve, Lurrus recursion, lots of things going on there. So that is the strategy objective of this list, essentially piling on, protecting what you have, dealing the damage. This thing loads up fast. It could be really fast matches. So glad to see it, like I said, coming back and looking forward to today's match with this deck. So in terms of strategy, again, it's quick, it's fast, it's really aggro to mid-range. You got that protection. Now let's go talk about how we're going to board for our best of 3 lineup. Because that's going to be very important for us as we take a look at what's going on here in the lovely meta. So we'll break it down in terms of aggro, mid-range, and late game. Those aggro decks are things like mono red. We also have mono green elves. We have Gruul aggro. We also have some bridge decks in terms of the Coco, both Selesnya as well as the traditional Selesnya and Angels. Also other ones that we need to look out for: mono white aggro and mono black aggro here. So in terms of what's going on here in the meta and what we want to do and move around are things like Deck and Stone. Those are good pieces for us. Additionally, what you might want to think about is Gruul Drake if they're running mono red. Also goblins or burn decks. That's very popular for us there. Other things that you can run: Hushbringer, particularly against anything hitting the board like goblins, if they got to go search and those things, is going to help you shut down some of their decks. Then as we get to mid-range, we talked about some of those with Coco, Selesnya Ramp, and also Selesnya Angels. Also in this space, you're going to hit our lovely potential Phoenix decks, and other things here to keep an eye out for are going to be your traditional John Sacrifice deck. You might run into Arcanist decks, so want to keep an eye on those, and then obviously any other kind of Boros mid-range deck that you might hit as well. Here again, anything running red, throwing Gruul Drake, anything that you need to shut down You can certainly run Hushbringer in terms of triggers, things like sacrifice decks that we talked about. Anything running Graveyard or mono black, pitch in the Apostle of Purifying Light. That's going to be a big one for you there. And then Baffling End is always helpful as well. Now, if they begin to run more of those spell-based decks, begin to think about throwing in Dovin's Veto as well for that additional protection. We do have some of those good counters like Spell Pierce already in the main board to help us against some of our lovely Thoughtseize right off the board or right off the bat, and then also some of the Brainstorm and those other counter magic that we might have to manage as well. Also in that mid-range space, you might run into 5-color Reanimator. Again, the control flipping in the counter spell is going to be really, really helpful. In terms of late game decks, here's where you're going to hit things like Grixis Control. You might hit Jeskai Control, you might hit traditional Azorius Control, Dimir, those kinds of things, or Sultai. Keep an eye on those. What you're going to want to do here in this space is certainly move in our Dovin's Vetoes. You're also going to want to maybe play Apostle of Purifying Light. Again, if they have black, they're going to be using to kill things. Big one to keep an eye on. And then additionally here, if they're running anything blue or red, Cerulean Drake's going to help you kind of build that protection. So lots of things going on in terms of what you want to do here with your sideboarding strategy. But what I'd like to focus on is either flipping out some of the creatures for creatures, depending on what you're doing, and then counter spells here, potentially for some enchantments, potentially for some creatures, but just kind of really going to have to line up on how you want to go about it, and just really protect your board. Now, the big thing that you notice is we only have Selfless Savior here. In terms of the 1-drop, this again is to protect your creatures in case they get targeted for removal or board wipes. So that's one thing that you might want to think about if you want to go a little bit less in the draw on the top end and flip in some of those counter spells in terms of those late game lineups and things like that. So that's a good way to think about how you want to board here today for your historic matches in best of 3. We talked about the aggro mid-range and late game lineup. We talked about strategy objective of this list and some of the changes that have occurred now, and really, really looking forward to this because it was one of my favorite decks before, and glad to see it getting some love and play again here today. So let's go ahead and play that competitive Magic and get cracking and see how we go and how things play out. And then obviously we did the Rogues deck the other day as well. We want to go historic ranked. There we go. We did the Simic Stomp deck as well, and Rogues. Great ones to play. Some of our counter magic here. But again, Azorius Auras, historic champion deck for the challenge, which is pretty awesome. So really, really looking forward to making this thing work. And we'll go from here. All right, so we certainly could play this. So we'll try it. And the reason why I kept this is we have 2 abilities to draw here with Curious Obsession and Staggering Insight. So we'll give it a shot. Now, Auras is becoming very competitive again, which is good to take a look at. We know that they'll most likely go after this here pretty quickly, so we'll see what they hit. You can reach Trevor. Ooh. We should have went with Staggering Insight there because we can't protect it, actually, which is too bad. We would have got some life gain off that too. But if we live here, we'll be in an okay spot. If not, we got to pull Lurrus, and then it's going to be a little bit more of a match for us. Again, assuming that they're probably going to be able to remove Selfless Savior here. So we'll see. So I'll expect a kill spell here. Ooh. Here it comes. Way to push. Ooh, on the stack. Oh, they let our mana come back. Ooh, okay, we're good. So we'll actually get this on the board. So we did that so we can keep Spell Pierce. Next one we can really load up here, which is going to be the big piece. Now, if they play a Planeswalker, we're going to be in a world of hurt. That's fine, we can deal with that. Get rid of Dramoka Command. They'll have the sack. There they go. Very unfortunate. Very, very unfortunate. So if they went and pulled Dramoka's Command, that's... I don't know about that one. Now they're going to get some nice thinning. Sounds good. It's a good top deck for them, too. Oh! Good timing on that. Wow, look at that. Huge timing. Huge, huge timing. You can reach Trevor. Alright, so here's how this works. Don't deal any damage to this guy. So now we will go play this. I'm going to go with a flyer. There we go. I needed to play that, so we'll see what happens. If they go get something that's going to save them or close the match, they'll be in a good spot. Now, we could block the Phyrexian Obliterator if we wanted to. And we could exile a whole bunch of stuff here if we needed. Now, we also have Luris here still. So let's see what they go and grab. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6. Let's see here. 7. 8, 9, and 10. And how many? Resolve 5. Let's go with 1. 2, 3, 4. And let's go with, actually, 2, 3, 4. There we go. There we are. Whew.
Coming until it's too late. It's not often I'm outmaneuvered.
Oh. What a lucky son of a gun. Again. Again. Oh, here we go. It's the +1. Oh. Just give me a flyer. They probably have the reproach thing again, though. We're hosed at this point. We're absolutely hosed. We're gonna get stuck at 5, and we can't come back. So it's not gonna matter. Well, now that they actually killed Vrosco, we might have a chance. So we'll wait a minute. We're at 32. Now we're done. Now that they got the wife game back, we're done. Not gonna happen. Very, very unfortunate there. It happens. Frustrating as it is. We move forward, my friends, with our Azorius Auras deck. All right, on to our second match here in best of one. Very, very long match. Very long match. Not what you'd expect for best of one, but it does happen. So nothing like the Phyrexian Obliterator. All right, so we can keep this again because we got Selfless Savior, we got Staggering Insights. Again, you could very, very well, as we discussed, go very hard on the mulligans if we wanted to. Now we'll load up, unless they block. So they have Coco in hand. Because of weights. There they go. Or they'll play it. I probably would have waited. Ooh, kept alive. I would have hit Realm Walker anyway. There we go. There we go. Get a bunch of draws. There we go. Oh, still getting hammered on this. They have another Coco, they're gonna get through. The Spell Pierce now. Oh, oh, the pain, the pain. Oh, shoot. They got what they needed. They got what they needed. We could not get through fast enough. Ah, it's painful. Oh, so painful. There's their out. There's their out. Oh, that's so unfortunate. So unfortunate. Oh, bummer, bummer, bummer. Not our day. Not our day with this deck. We got very unlucky there. Very unlucky. It's too bad. It happens. Magic. It's magic. All right. Let's keep going. So that's nice, though, on the Coco stuff there. We saw why it matters, how it matters, and where it works well. We got Libra here at 35. So we've lost to an Angels deck. We've lost to... here we go. We got Sam. We'll go first. We've also lost to that Obliterator tech, which is too bad. So... All right. So we're actually going to go Shram second. If we can keep him alive, could be a problem. Well, we should be able to. Gonna say, here comes Burning Tree. Brawler, of course. Ooh, here we go. So cleave could certainly be there. All right, we're in a good spot now. Give me, oh, not quite enough. So if they pop it over to Voltaic Brawler, 4 would be 5/5. We will still live. Oh. Oh, our luck today. Planeswalkers. Super brutal. I feel like all the luck I've had except last time. Yesterday. I think it was. I gotta remember which one I played. We have been so unlucky here. So unlucky. Oh, brutal. Brutal. So let's see here. Yeah, unlucky. We did run the Simic Stompy deck, which was good. So other than that, we've just had terrible luck with Historic, which is just crazy. This deck's much better than that. So let's go ahead and we'll move into our best of 3 here with our Azorius Auras deck. Ooh. I know this is a good deck too. It's just not having a good run today, and it's these matches are taking much longer than they normally take too. Ooh. So for those of you joining here, and best of 1 went 0-3. Which shouldn't happen with an Azorius Auras deck, for the record. Just really bad luck. And it's a top best of 1 deck right now. So we'll get it back. Oh, man. Alright, we can do this. We'll drop a land. We want to keep that. Oh, we want to keep that. Let's get rid of this. Oh, we'll keep that. Actually, we'll get rid of this one. Not our luck. All right, so we have a lovely, we'll pay 2. So we should have played this. That's fine, we can live with that. Play this guy. Probably gonna hurt us. Okay, good, we're still okay. So we hit a Jesaki control deck. We're going to have to run. We will definitely run. Definitely run the vetoes here. Ooh, there we go. There we go. All right. What do we want to run? grab the 2 Dovin Vetoes, protection from red. This is fine. We kick out here. Let's get this thing out of there. And let's drop in all that glitters. Go from there. Spillroar. All right, this is a good start for us. I will play this. I will play it. Could have waited. Could have slipped them. Let's see. If they burn it off, we're in trouble. If they don't, we'll be in an okay spot. All right, here we go. We are back in action here. Lots of plays here. So here's what we want to do. I'm going to put it on here. If they don't remove core, we have lethal. Boom! Fastest match. Look at that. Best of 1. Get out of here. Best of 3. Whew. That's what we're playing with this deck. Funny how it goes. That's like, that's why I love this game, right? You can't get the best of 1, you get the best of 3. And you crush it, and we had them locked in, which is great. So let's go ahead and look at our deck here. Again, Azorius Auras. So where does this sit in the meta? So first off, best of 1. We should not have gotten beat that bad. We should not have gotten 0-3. That's usually not the case for me either with this deck. Great to see it come back around. In best of 1, it's actually one of the most competitive decks right now and actually commands one of the highest win rates. We'll talk about that a little bit again and some of the tier list stuff coming your way. But where does this actually sit? It's probably closer to a tier 1 deck again. But in terms of video, I would have said probably top of tier 2. So best of 3 is a little bit different story. Obviously, this was a great deck for the lovely historic challenge. Again, congratulations, Nico, on going 7-1 with this deck. Certainly doable again. So again, as things are moving around, you just shift into some of the counter magic. Makes a huge difference. We saw it. It shuts your opponents down pretty quickly. And we have a lot of great things that we can sideboard in here too against a lot of the other decks in the meta. So well positioned. Honestly, it used to be tier 1. I would say it's probably, at least tier 2 still right now, but we'll continue to keep an eye on it and see as it gets more adopted here. In historic, once again, great fast matches. That was a fast best of 3. Of course, the best of 1s take forever, but it happens. So that's where I think this kind of sits right now. We'll keep an eye on it. Love what we got going on with the Azorius Auras. Again, one of my favorite deck archetypes, and runs well here for us. So with that said, Planeswalkers, if you have questions, if you have comments, please let me know. If you feel bad for me in today's video, flip me a like. If you like the video, flip me a like. Other great ways to stay in touch down below in the description. Thank you to all the supporters, everyone's support always. Truly, I appreciate it. On top of that, great ways to connect in the description. and the deck list is there. And don't forget the Discord server information. Feel free to pop in there. We'd love to see you. And if you got questions, if you got comments, let me know. Would love to hear from you. So with that said, Planeswalkers, stay tuned for more top decks, more historic stuff, more standard. We got Friday night meta. We got tier lists coming, so stay tuned. We got Jank and a whole host of a lot of other fun going on. So with that said, Planeswalkers, stay safe. We'll see you again soon. Until next time, Mythras out.